Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face and welcome back to this McLaren career that we're going through on Motorsport Manager at the moment. If you tuned into the last episode, you will know that we had a miraculous result. Fernando Alonso won the race on his own merit. There was no wet weather, there was no shenanigans, everything works out our way. We came first. Jenson Button meanwhile picked up 12 points, finishing 4th in that race. He's had now 3 excellent finishes in the 3 races that he's taken part in. Obviously Van Dorn, we demoted because he wants to leave the team. He's considering odd offers. We're going to lose him at the end of the season. We don't want to develop him just for another team to take him, so we put Jenson Button back in the car and he has been performing absolutely brilliantly. We've got Munich coming up. We've just had a brakes build finished. We're not going to be able to use that, but the rear wing that we were building last time is now ready to just about go in the car. So Jenson Button's going to be getting an even more improved car this time out. This rear wing we can get up to 962, so eventually this will be going to Fernando Alonso in his car. The gearbox meanwhile we've managed to get it up to 894. Now it is obviously risky, it's probably going to be pulled up at some point, but it's 100% there. So we're going to start work on the brakes as well. We do have 2 brake parts here that we haven't had chance to work on yet, and they're possibly what we're going to be concentrating on. Yeah, we're going to be concentrating on these, so we're going to get it there 18 days after the race, and it's going to be there just in time for Guildford, which obviously mimics Silverstone. So yeah, not much else to go through here. We're going to jump straight into practice. We'll run the sim on qualifying and then we'll get into the race. So getting straight to it today, and we'll come back when it's time for qualifying. So here we go with qualifying. We're hoping to get both cars into Q3 again like we did last time out. Hopefully that is going to be happening here. And there we go, Button just about 11th, so this is where we should be. I think last time out we were a little bit lucky to get both cars into the top 10, into the top 10 shootout. But 8th and 11th is not too bad for us. I think we're going to be back to normality for this race. And as usual, we get both Renaults, both Haas's out. And this time it's a Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat out. This time Carlos Sainz has got up to 12th this time. So whether they've swapped cars, whether the Toro Rosso boys have changed cars back and forth, maybe one car's better than the other, maybe Sainz's car has been improved. Here we go, we'll sim Q2. Let's just see what we can get out of this one. Alonso, Button, pretty, about 4 tenths still between them, but we've got both cars in the top 10. Ericsson on mediums here, so he's definitely not going to go any quicker. So it looks like we're getting both cars into the top 10 shoot, and more importantly, both Force India cars, 14th and 15th, whether they've already run out of soft tyres. The AI seemingly not knowing how to pick tyres here, so maybe they're going to try and run a one-stop strategy around this track. It can be done, but not if you started in the top 10. You've got to make 2 stops if you're in the top 10. You can run a one-stop strategy here, but you do need to be outside the top 10, as I just said. And Carlos Sainz, 11th there, so he's improved quite a lot. We've got the 2 Ferrari-powered Saubers and the 2 Ferrari-powered Force Indias quite far down the order. Well, far down the order, should I say. The Force Indias more than they should be. I reckon still struggling a little bit. And as usual, we've got the Mercedes 1 and 2, but we know it's not going to be that after the race, don't we? Going by past races and what they've been able to do. And here we go, we've got Lance Stroll starting on a pair of worn tyres here, so we're definitely going to be above 9th with both cars. Looks like the Williams are out of soft tyres as well already. So 8th and 9th is where we should expect to be. Don't think they're going to come out for more laps. Yes, we are. Don't think we're going to be able to go any quicker than that, though. Maybe we can catch Massa. Alonso going quicker. Doesn't actually go any quicker than Massa, though. So 8th and 9th is about where we should be. We've made good progress to get to this position from where we actually started the season. So we're coming into the second half of the season now really strong in what we're doing. Just things looking up here at McLaren for that we can have a really strong season next season. So we're going to go soft here. I think, have we got enough tyre? I can't actually see what sort of tyres we've actually got left. Oh, and actually I managed to get excellent there. We just before qualifying we were purple and 2 greens for Fernando Alonso. We managed to get all of that sorted. So we're going to go soft and race trim here. We can do tyre changes. We could go with that if we wanted, but it's not going to be a problem, I don't think. So we're going to attack. And what can we get out of this soft tyre at the moment? 4 laps for Alonso. He's used a lot more of his soft tyre again in qualifying than what Button did, who can get 5 laps out of this. So Button's going to be able to go a little bit longer. So once a race starts, we don't actually know what tyres we've actually got left. That's sort of the challenging and the fun of letting the computer take handle of qualifying, in that we don't quite know what sort of let's have a quick look. And we do have a lot of soft tyres here, so we can just about finish this race, so we might have to finish the race on a pair of mediums depending on how we do with tyre wear throughout the race. The temperature's not too high, so it's going to be below the 21 is what sort of keeps the tyre temperatures. Don't know what we've got left of Button's tyres, but Alonso flying away there off the start again. Another brilliant start from Alonso, up into 5th already. Button has dropped down to 11. He's got the same set of tyres left. He can actually go a lot longer, so it's definitely going to be there for Button. He's definitely going to be able to do this race. In fact, he's got a lot of tyre left, even with 2 stops, hasn't he? He can do 5, and he can't even do it. He can't do a 1-stop Button. But yeah, an absolutely brilliant start from Alonso, but we've got Vettel coming back at him now, but Alonso manages to hold on. He's going to get the run down, and who is that flying through there? That is Lance Stroll making an absolute brilliant start for himself, but Alonso gains a place back. We've now got a Red Bull of Ricciardo. Alonso tries to get down the inside, can't take it. Button, meanwhile, has worked his way back up into 8th place. He's in front of Verstappen, behind Vettel. You have to think about turning these tyres down as well, because we do want to make sure Alonso and Button goes flying past Stroll there, who's starting to drop back down the order. We want to make sure, is everyone else doing the same as this? No, everyone else is still pushing their fuel load at the moment, so we're going to try copy that, but we don't want to wear these tyres away too quickly, because we are able to do this whole race on soft tyres. There's no penalty for using different tyres. There is no set compound, like you don't have to use a pair of mediums. There's no penalty if we don't actually use a pair of mediums like there would be in real life. But Alonso here battling away with Raikkonen. From what we know, what we have seen is that Alonso and Raikkonen, we can beat the Ferraris pretty much for pace. Well, especially Raikkonen's Ferrari. Whether they've made some upgrades to their car in the downtime, and Button goes back past Stroll again. So there's a lot of battling going on. Yeah, there's a lot of, and that's the Sauber of Ericsson. Ericsson's made a brilliant start here, and I'm guessing a lot of these cars down the order here, these are guys that are going to be doing 1 stop, so there could be a challenge from them late on in the race, depending on how far we manage to get ahead. The hard tyre it does lose a lot of time, so by the time we're coming in for that pit stop, it's going to sort of work against them. You can lose up to sometimes 2 seconds going two tyre levels below the quickest 1 set for the race. Is everyone else still? No, everyone else has gone back down to medium at the moment, so we're going to do that. But meanwhile, let's try and get, I don't know if he's been held up by this Sauber, but we do idealistically want to get past it, we'll say. Getting a little bit tongue twisted there, but Alonso can't get on the back of Raikkonen here without the boost. But I'm now falling away a little bit. 8 laps to go before we recover this fuel. We'll try and get some of it back, and then we can go back into high mode for a little bit before we're thinking about turning down again. But 4th and 8th at the moment, that's not too bad. But Alonso coming under pressure. He's got to the point where we wanted him to go. There's going to be 16 laps left after this, which is at the point. But can he go another lap? We can't do, because then that would mean Button staying out. So Alonso, we're going to try. We'll get the undercut here. But then his tyres are going to be a little worse off after that. So we'll go for the undercut. We'll go high mode coming out of the pits. Don't think anyone else is going to think about doing it at the moment. So we'll just see what that does. See if we can sort of get ahead of Raikkonen. We'll push Button for a little bit, try and get him a little bit closer to Ericsson, who's flying here, and he's on the medium tyre as well. He's absolutely flying, is Ericsson. But Alonso now out 20th. I don't know whether he had a bad pit stop then. Did he have a bad pit stop? I didn't actually notice. Out into 20th. They feel pretty bunched up here, so we're stuck. We're stuck behind all these slow cars at the moment, actually, aren't we? We're actually really stuck behind these cars, so maybe if we boost, we'll get past a few of them. Or at least we'll get past the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. The Haas is really slow at the moment. But meanwhile, we're going to have to pit. We're going to have to pit. That means we are going to come back out behind all these slow cars, but maybe, depends how far, how much how much Alonso has actually been slowed down by a couple of these cars at the back. Who are we going to get in? We've got Hamilton hitting the pits. We've got Raikkonen hitting the pits. So we'll get to see here if Alonso is going to get back past. No, and Raikkonen's out pretty quickly there. So it did look like we get slowed down quite a bit by these back markers. Well, not back markers, are they? Because they're not a bad pit stop from Button as well. We'll push him out of the pits just to get him on the back here. He's got a nice run though now to Massa. In front, he's got a little bit of a gap. Alonso, meanwhile, we're still battling with these cars. We're going to take both Renaults here. So we don't look to be any worse off. Just depends where everyone else filters back out. And there we go. We've got Roman Grosjean at the moment pushing his car. Why are we pushing? Why do we don't want to push at the moment? We have to start thinking about recovering fuel though at some point. These tyres getting they're cooling down pretty quickly, but we can't push them too much with Alonso's car. Because we do want to go on to another... And who was that? We got ahead of Vettel, but yeah, we're back ahead of Vettel, but he's going to push out of the pit. So we're behind both Ferraris now. Button, meanwhile, all the way down in 18th, but there's a lot of cars that still have to pit at the moment. But then they're possibly going to be doing a one-stop strategy. We're going to have to go back at medium mode now for Vettel. We'll go neutral on the tyres as well. So who was that? Kimi Raikkonen collides with Valtteri Bottas. So that's where they're both going to dive into the pits now. That has definitely messed their race up. Has knocked Alonso up a few here. So we're now behind Pascal Wehrlein, who is yet to pit. We should be able to get him. Although struggling to get him. He's using his boost as well. Use our boost to stay on the back of him. Use the rest, and then we've got him there. We've got him. So we're on the back of Sebastian Vettel now. We'll boost down the straight. Maybe that's enough to get Seba. Maybe that's enough to get Seb. It's not. But meanwhile, still all the way down here in 15th place. 6 laps. We need to recover that. 8 laps to recover that. But we are. Daniel Ricciardo does a 136.6. We do have some battery that we can use up with Button here. So we're chasing Verstappen at the moment. We're just hoping we can get both cars into the points again. We're currently behind Sergio Perez, who has yet to pit. And Alonso has flat spotted his tyre, so he's definitely going to have to come in for a pair of medium tyres at some point now. I don't think he's going to be... Oh, he can do. There's quite a lot of tyre left in this, isn't there? We only need to do a couple more laps, so... Is it worth it to risk it to try and get through to that? Or are we going to have to go for the medium tyre? Button, meanwhile, does a flying lap of 136.076. Was that the quickest lap of the race? Button is absolutely flying at the moment. Quickest Sector 2 and Sector 3. He's got the Sauber of Ericsson in front of him now. Let's boost, try and get him out of the way, although it doesn't work. Alonso, meanwhile, 6. He's battling with the Sauber of Wehrlein still, who's going to dive into the pits this time. Just going to have to see if we can get around him. If we conserve. The tyres are getting so cold, though. We know we can push with Button now. So we're going to push these tyres for a few laps. So we can get these going now. We can make a good run, although a lot of these cars are still... Hulkenberg in front has yet to pit, and they're going to run till the end. They're going to be coming in for a pair of softs as well, it would look like. Guessing Massa has to pit again. Everyone has to pit in front. Kvyat's just coming in for his first pit stop. He's going to be able to go to the end now. So whether we can pull back enough time there. And we've taken Alonso to the limit of these tyres. Maybe if we go backup mode, they won't get too low that they affect the car. I'm going to have to recover this fuel as well now with Button, but we can still push these tyres into the ground. Even going fully out on these tyres, it's still struggling to get a lot of heat into them. But we've now got Massa in front. Oh, it's going to be a crazy race. We just have to see where we filter back out after all the pit stops have been done. So Alonso now should be coming into the pits. We can go neutral. We still have to recover some fuel. Where will we back out? 14th. It just depends what other cars do for their pit stops, doesn't it? to where we filter back out here. But meanwhile, we're going to get him into the pits as well this lap. There's no point in being on these slower tyres when he's got a nice fresh pair of softs that he can comfortably get to the end of the race. We might as well speed him up. So he can push on his tyres. Alonso can't quite push on his tyres because these are not... They're going to have to get pretty cool. Whereas we can sort of work on Buttons and keep him. And there's a mistake on Buttons' pit stop again. He's now coming out 18th out of the pits. Absolutely pathetic there. So after the joys of the last race, a lot more struggling this time out. Alonso fighting to get back into the points here. It's just the one stopper that has worked out for all these cars that didn't have to go on their tyre early on in the race. We'll try get Roman. No, we're struggling here, and Perez is possibly going to take us here. Alonso keep it. No, just no. It's not worked out this race, has it? The pit stops, and a lot of these still do have to pit though. These ones that went for medium, it's worked out for him a little bit better, hasn't it? Button's still flying. Sets the quickest sector 2 again. I say he's in 17th. That was Danny Kvyat setting the quickest lap of the race. Meanwhile, let's try and get a little bit of temperature. We'll go half a lap. Running overtake mode. It might wreck his tyres just for the end of the race, but there we go. We're starting to get some of these cars pitting in front now, it looks like. Are we going to get back in front of the Ferrari? We are. So we're up into 7th place. That's brilliant. We've actually got back in front of the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Meanwhile, Raikkonen's all the way down here because he had that crash. He bumped with Bottas, didn't he? So are we going to get any more pit stops here that'll allow us to go higher up in the order? We're almost there with the... Well, we are there with a few of Alonso. Almost there with Button. We're going to be able to push in high modes pretty soon. Alonso, meanwhile... Button, meanwhile, we could push him, couldn't we? Could use his battery down here to get past the Renault. Can we do it? No, we can't. Even with the battery, we can't get past Nico Hülkenberg. Alonso, meanwhile, 7th. It says... We've got a sort of train of cars that run slower tyres that we might be able to take at some point if we just look after these tyres. And there we go. We take Perez. So Alonso back up into 5th. We've got a Ferrari coming up on us though. We've got a Ferrari powered Sauber in front. But meanwhile, he should be able to get back into... We've got Hamilton in front. Hülkenberg and Hamilton. Just try and get him at the back of Hülkenberg. Struggling to keep up with that underpowered Renault. Vettel, meanwhile, has managed to get past Alonso. The target, meanwhile, is to get past Pascal Wehrlein. Can we do that? Can we do that? We've got a little bit of life in the tyres, I think, just enough, and there we go. We get past the Sauber. But meanwhile, can we get him back up into the points here? It's going to be hard. We've got to take... There's only 2 seconds, though. It could be done. The tyres are going. The tyres are low. Just getting slowed down here by Nico Hülkenberg, who just has enough of a boost to keep in front of us. Alonso, meanwhile, now 4th place. We've got a Toro Rosso in front who's having problems as we come on to the final lap. Are we on the final lap? Yes, we are. Oh, we can go overtake mode now for this final lap count. We've managed to do a good job of holding on to the fuel here. But meanwhile, we need to... There, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Is that someone we're lapping? Yeah, it is. Someone we're lapping. That's Valtteri Bottas we're lapping. Well, he's not going to slow us down here because obviously he's quicker than us, but he should be getting blue flagged. At the moment, he's stopping us getting past Hülkenberg, so it doesn't look like we're going to get a points finish for Button. Can we here? Can we take Kvyat and get a podium? Doesn't look likely. It doesn't look likely at all. No, and we're going to lose a place to Sergio Perez as well. Sergio Perez just flying through. He managed to save his battery for the last corner. But meanwhile, we're going to use a battery. It's not going to do a lick of good for him though. 12th place, so Button outside the points. But a good finish for Alonso. 10 points. That is actually higher than we should be expecting, because our car should be finishing like 8th and 9th maybe is where we should be. So 10 points is not too bad overall for this race. Esteban Ocon though, Force India has won the race. Perez up there as well. So they've Force India have taken the result that we had last time. Obviously the cars lower down the order. The one-stop strategy worked out for them. We're just racing really hard as well. We can see Lewis Hamilton set quite a quick time. We didn't really have a quick time at all there, did we? Lewis Hamilton set a really quick lap at some point. So a pretty interesting race there. It's thrown up a few things there. Hopefully that's not enough for Force India to get back in front of us. And there we go. The gearbox has finally been found out. It doesn't matter overall because Button wasn't in the points, but we're going to have that gearbox taken away from us now. We knew that was going to happen. We thought we'd risk it to try and get Button into the points a little bit more, but his car's going to be a little bit more underpowered next time out. 70 points for Fernando Alonso. That's pretty good to be keeping up with one of the guys in the Mercedes. We are 5th now. 3 points behind Mercedes. So we've got those in sight. Force India have caught up a little bit now. We did have a nice big buffer over them, but obviously the win by Ocon and the 4th place from Sergio Perez worked out really well for them. So there we go. We came 4th overall, so that's not bad. Puts a little bit of happiness back into the chairman's thing. We're at 93% now, which is a lot better than we were doing early on in the season, because there was a point where we could have been set a target, otherwise being fired, but we didn't get quite to that point. We got marketability now at 95%. Everyone's still happy apart from Stoffel Van Dorn on 10%. And more money coming into the team. We should be back out of the red pretty soon. We do have some more sponsorships coming due soon. Just let this game save, come on. Last time out we did have Carlsberg. This one come due and we went actually with Carlsberg. They offer 3rd or above. It's not something I'm going to accept. We could get a nice 1.2 million, not billion, bonus from that. We got a nice 1.5 million upfront payment from that. We've got this one coming, which is usually one that offers for 1st place. Obviously, hopefully we can get another nice upfront payment from that. We're not going to go for the bonus payment, and then we've got these two coming due, so we should be in the money pretty soon. We should be making lots of money, and the HQ will be done in time for Guildford, so maybe we can go ahead and build a really strong engine, another strong engine for that Grand Prix. I don't think it won't be ready to go in the car for them, but maybe we can get something done. Come on, what are you doing? Maybe we can get something done for the Ardennes, which obviously represents Spa in Belgium. But anyway, a pretty decent result there. Obviously, Force India had a really good result, putting the pressure back on us now to keep on to 5th place. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that. That's round 10 done. That's round 10 done, isn't it? So, is it? No, that was round 9. So we're coming up to round 10. Yeah, so we've got 7 races left. We just passed the halfway point, just about. So yeah, Guildford is round 10. Looks like it's going to be dry for the British Grand Prix. There's not much chance of another wet race before the end of the season, so everything looking good there. Top speed crucial, so I don't think we're going to be doing too bad. Well, not too bad, but I guess we're going to be not the best around there, because with top speed being crucial, it's going to be a track that doesn't suit us. But anyway, we'll be coming back for that next time, so that will be it for this episode. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the race, and leave a comment down below on how you think we're doing or whatnot, whether you think Button and Alonso are doing well, whether you think we're making a mistake letting Van Dorn go. But obviously we don't have a choice in doing that, because he is going to be leaving the team because he is unhappy. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you down the road for the British Grand Prix, and goodbye.